Kimpact Development Initiative, in collaboration with the National Democracy Institute, has held a national multi-stakeholders forum in Abuja, focusing on setting youth-led electoral reforms priorities. Abuja reports.
The dialogue, attended by election stakeholders and youths, aimed to review issues, challenges, and successes recorded in the 2023 general elections. It also presents an opportunity for youth to state their position for proposed electoral reforms.
One thing that stood out from my own perspective concerning the 2023 election remains the obvious commitment of Nigerians to democratic governance. So you'll be looking at it from the perspective of democratic continuity. Nigerians clearly demonstrated their commitment to democratic governance. Looking at the large voter turnout during the 2023 elections across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, people came out in their numbers and they were committed to exercising their democratic rights.
What is the police and, of course, going to do when we have issues of voter suppression? In the last election, we identified places in Lagos and in several other states whereby political godsons could go to a polling unit and threaten Nigerian citizens, deny them of their rights to vote, and nothing was done to them. Absolutely nothing was done to them. These are issues that must be addressed.
But when it comes to funding, NOA is not giving a dime for political education, it's not giving a dime for voter education. Yet, you expect NOA to do the job of mobilizing people, creating, awareness and all of this. But in the election cycle itself, there is no funding for NOA to do this job. And somebody talked about attitudinal change. It's supposed to be within the purview of National Orientation Agency. But then, you don't give National Orientation Agency budgets to do this attitudinal change.
The executive director of the Kimpact Development Initiative says that the dialogue aims to prepare Nigerians for a peaceful and credible general elections coming up in 2027.
Basically, after the 2023 elections, the election came with a lot of mixed feelings. And some people believe that have been the best election so far. Some people believe that was nothing to write home about. But that is a divide already. But where everybody agrees is that there has to be a before to the election. And so what we are doing today is to start the conversation, reflect on the election, and start the conversation around that electoral reforms. So what we are doing is also to segment it and see how young people can take the lead in this aspect, and also move it a step further to bring multi-stakeholders together. And it's also good for us to start this conversation now because this is the right time. We cannot wait till 2026 because election is in 2027. We need to have these reforms now and see how we can test them in most of the off-cycle elections to be able to have perfect the whole process before we move into the general election.
He also says that Nigerian youths are demanding the use of technology for elections because they can make the polls more credible.
Number one on the list of the young people are just technology. How do you utilize technology? How do you utilize electronic voting? How do you utilize the aspect of making the IREF to work effectively? You look at the presidential election in February, the IREF didn't work the way people expected it to work. And the young people are actually motivated because they thought in 2023 you saw the disappointment in the young people because anything technology, young people are there. So the first thing they want to see is that how do we use technology to improve our whole process, and that will take us to, do we need to begin to have legislative backing for IREF, for beavers, for all of them as it is. And so that is number one. Number two, then in terms of election security, so who handles the election offenders? So in such instances, people that cause mayhem at the election premises, most times they go scot-free, and then they come back to do it in a more brazen manner. So young people are really talking, looking at what they should do. But again, this meeting is also to extract more views and validate what the survey of the young people are saying.
Ebuwa Oyi reporting for Development Nigeria Television.